of the Department of Justice that just released a filing of a picture of documents from Mar-a-Lago seemingly just kind of spread all across the floor. And if you look a level deeper into this photo, let's put the photo up on screen, it is very clear that our prediction on Monday is becoming true. This is the Department of Justice sending a clear and obvious and intentional message towards Donald Trump and his allies and towards you.
Oh my God. I mean, look, I've been kind of mean to Charlie Kirk in the past, and I've implied that he's not necessarily the smartest person, but he apparently has identified something in that photo that everyone has missed. Certainly I missed in our coverage yesterday. What is this message that the DOJ is trying to send? Well, hold on to your butts. He's going to describe.
What is it in this picture exactly? Well, the administrative state posts this picture of documents all across the floor. Nothing necessarily telling there, but there's two big things, and you have to look a level deeper for there. The first of which is an intentional placement of a Time magazine cover. Now look, they knew that this was going to go viral. They knew that this was going to be examined through every single way. Put a picture of the Time magazine cover up on screen. Picture of Donald Trump with all the Democrat candidates looking outside of the window, and it says, knock, knock. This is back from March of 2019. Get it? Knock, knock. Like we're knocking on your door on home. No mistake that was put in there. Now, this is not for the purpose of the judge. This is simply and solely for a public relations move. This was designed with the sole intent to try to chill dissent. It's so smug. It's so arrogant. The FBI no longer even tries to hide their political bias. And I'm going to say this again. They're going for it. They're going for an indictment of Donald Trump.
Okay, so I have heard Charlie Kirk's theory, and to quote Bud Bundy, the plot thins. He said he was gonna look deeper into the photo. I think he got shallower, actually. That is a stretch beyond the capacity of Mr. Fantastic. So they put it there to send a message. Well, first of all, Trump put the Time magazine there, I guess. He's the one who decided to hold on to that. If it's so ominous that it's sending a message, why did Trump hold on to it? And if you're gonna send a message with that photo, shouldn't you choose something that's actually discernible with human eyes? I could barely make out the knock knock once he zoomed in on the photo. Like once he got a photo of it, no one looking at that photo even knew what cover it was, let alone tracked it down to then see the text on the side, to then make the metaphoric jump to say, hey, that's sort of threatening in a meta way. And again, it's one that Trump himself held on to. That is, I understand that there's a lot of weird substances coursing through Charlie Kirk's veins as he says that stuff, but that is such a leap, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't be mean to Charlie Kirk. I don't know why you'd ever do that. He deserves a little bit of leeway, being that he is part dolphin. I don't know if you're aware of that. You can't expect a non-human to have human emotions. I do think, again, it's ridiculous. He's focusing on the documents being spread on the floor and then shifts to the box. But I will grant him actually one point. I do think that they obviously framed in the photo the box of picture frames from Time magazine, and you'd have to assume they didn't put that one in the front. But if they even saw it in the front, I might have put that one in the back, just because, yeah, you can't see it clearly in the photo, but these conspiracy theorists will dissect it. And you know that they're gonna find out that it was the cover that said knock knock with all these forces closing in on Trump. It does seem to a little bit send a weird message to those looking for one. And anything, like the reason they released this photo was to kind of cut off at the head any of these conspiracy theories, saying, oh, they planted, oh, they weren't real documents, so they're showing them. Oh, it wasn't obviously secret documents. Well, there's a huge red font in 60 size font saying classified, saying top secret. Does that prove it? So it's gonna be poured over. Showing that, I think, was, unfortunately, they have to a little bit think, not politically, but strategically with what they're showing, because these people are such bad actors that they're gonna take anything and use it as an example to discredit. And so you have to maybe say, let's not have the Time magazine in this one photo we're releasing. It does unnecessarily, I think, to a degree, open a can of worms.
I bet I bet you could do a segment where you take random Time magazine covers and come up with some conspiracy theory that the cover could be sending a message of. I bet you could do that.
Oh, for sure. That is true.
Yes,
that is true for sure.
In the future, though, just to be safe, DOJ, don't embed any photos, even small, even out of focus, of Time magazine covers. Just put a small out of focus picture of a dolphin fetus.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes. But it also shows, though, the fact that Trump kept that in a frame in his office proves yet again how this person and so many in the Republican Party are just in it for the likes, are just in it for the fame, are just in it for the power. A magazine cover about the forces trying to take down a man who was offending so many of our norms and our laws that the state was closing in on him. And he's proud of it and put it in a gold colored frame, because we all know it's not real gold. Tells you all you need to know. It's just like the other day, even when Ann Coulter launched her new podcast and said she's finally leaving Trump and it's fine for the Republican Party to leave Trump. She kind of betrayed her own true intentions by saying, look, I even got bored with politics with Jan 6 and everything. But when the whole world started to go to hell and Biden's poll numbers dropped, then it got fun. Yeah. These people are in it for the game, for the fun. They're nihilists that like seeing the world burn. And it is so uncool. It's just obvious there's one side that's trying to do good and move the country forward, and one side that's just in it for themselves.